good afternoon Year 2 and welcome to your English lesson. Today we are going to be identifying features of newspaper reports and I'm about to share my screen ready so that you can learn today. So first things first, have a little read, pause if you need to, of the different words that we have been learning this week in our vocabulary lessons and see if you can remember what they mean and use the picture to help you. Okay, now a catastrophe is something that's really bad that happens, something that's awful and causes lots and lots of problems. A bakery is a shop that sells bread and cakes and things that they've made homemade. Embers are the bottom bits of the fire, where the fire is kind of at the end of being put out and it's the bit where the flames are and the coal and things like that. And sometimes if the embers aren't put out, that can cause the fires to sort of spread and start. We've got distraught, which means really, really sad, really, really upset. And spreading means something goes further and further on. It moves on and on and on like that. And also we've got the king. And we know what the king is. It's the person that's in charge of the country, top of the tree, that makes the rules of the land. So let's have a little look at what we're going to do today. We are going to identify features of a newspaper report today. We're going to read and listen to the text. We're going to pick out the key parts of the text that we're going to use, and we're going to compare it to a story. So we're going to look at a story and see what is different and what is the same. And then you're going to have a go at writing a little short article about something that happened yesterday as a newspaper report. So thinking of the name of your newspaper and all the different features. So this week we are focusing on newspaper reports or newspaper articles. Whereas sometimes with a story we want to entertain the reader, a newspaper report is to inform the reader about what has happened. And that means two things. It must be in third person, so it's talking about other people, not as yourself. And it must be in the past, so it's already happened before. Okay, so we're using all of our ED words and our words that are in the past. So here is our London Gazette paper. So that's the name of the paper, and that often goes at the top, the name of the paper. And we start with our headline, which is London Ablaze. Can you all say London Ablaze? So there was a tragedy in our capital city. See if you can read it along with me at the same time. So there was a tragedy in our capital city as a fire raged from house to house. It all started at Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane, where a few embers in his oven caught alight and the fire grew from there. The fire began spreading quickly because of the strong winds and the houses were too close together. The king got houses to be pulled down to try and stop the fire, but it did not work. Citizens were seen fleeing from the catastrophe in boats with all of their possessions. Saddest of all, St. Paul's Cathedral, which is over 1,000 years old, perished in the fire. This left many people distraught as their homes were also in ruins. Finally, after 5 days, the fire was put out. So we start with the name of the paper, the London Gazette. I'd call my paper the Palmer Press. And then we've got a headline, London Ablaze. We've also got pictures, and our writing doesn't just stay in a line going across like that. It kind of moves through into columns. So now we've got a newspaper report on here, and on this side we've got a story. I'd like you to pause the screen and tell me what is the same about these two texts and what is different about them. What's different? What isn't the same? Okay, so on this side where we've got our newspaper report, we've got a title of a paper. We don't have one of them in a story, do we? We've also got a headline. So we've got Twinkle Time is the name of our paper, and then Dinosaur on Tour is our headline. And we've also got columns as well. We're not writing across the page like they've done here. We've written in columns. We've written a little bit across, then we go down onto the next line, down onto the next line, and then we start a new column up here like that. So they're the main features of the dinosaur of the newspaper report, but they both have pictures. Meanwhile, this one over here, this is a photograph. And newspapers, because they're about real things and real things that have happened, they can use photographs. Why couldn't they have used photographs in the papers in the past? Little think. Mainly because they didn't have cameras and they didn't have mobile phones, they didn't have things they could take photos with. Like we've been learning in art, they didn't have portraits, photographs, they had to use portraits. That's why they would use pictures. But nowadays we can take photographs and put them into our newspaper. And also you'll often find in newspapers as well, they label the pictures to tell you exactly what they are as well, which they don't do in this story. So they're the main things: the headline, the title of the newspaper, we write it in columns, and we also have a photograph which is labelled. Fantastic. Let's see if we got them all. We did. Third person, talking about other people, columns, picture with a caption or a label, title of the paper, title of the article, the headline. Now, today, I want you to have a go now for the rest of this lesson at writing a mini article about something that has happened today. Could be what you had for breakfast, something your sibling did, or something you could make up. Like, for example, this morning I saw a little squirrel coming up the tree near where I was living, and he was trying to find a nut for ages, and then he flew off into the air. Is that real or is it not real? Have another little go today at making a newspaper article about something that could have happened to you this morning. And remember to try and write in the third person, so about other things that have happened. So it's not I did this or I did that. It would be, this morning, a young girl called Miss Drews, kind of young, she saw a squirrel going up a tree. We're writing about other people. We're writing about it as in a third person. Columns, so we're going down, and we're going down another column and another column. Picture, but we have to label it and we have to have a caption. Title of the paper and title of the article. And if you can use photographs, that would be even better, because we have cameras and we have phones, so we can put photographs in, so pictures, and headlines to be big and bold. And extra points if you can use any of the key words we spoke about at the beginning of the lesson. When you have finished, email them to us at year2@thepalmeracademy.com and we'll give you feedback. Thank you to everybody that's done that already today on Thursday. Absolutely brilliant. Have fun writing your articles. I look forward to reading them. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy home learning. Take care. Bye for now.